always look to increase your patient lifetime value, dollar amount. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Always look to increase that. That is a number I would look at year over year and make sure it's going up. And in fact, one day you will sell or exit your practice. There will be an expiration date. Hate to tell you, but you will sell or you'll close your doors or whatever. Okay. My sense is you're going to want to sell it for the highest valuation possible. Why wouldn't you? It's your baby you built. You're going to want to get the most out of it. That is one of the KPIs private equity will be looking at, or a strategic buyer or whatever. If they want to buy the lifetime value of the patient base. Hey, what's up, everybody? Cameron Hemphill here, your host for Medical Millionaire. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune into the podcast. Our goal is to give incredible value and insight for practice owners. So if you own a medical aesthetics practice, if you own a med spa, a wellness clinic, maybe all of the above, if you're doing cosmetic treatments, every single one of these episodes that we produce are 100% designed for you and to help take your practice to the next level. So guys, I have a solo episode for you today. Haven't done one in a while. And I want to give you a tremendous amount of value in a relatively short period of time. Wonderful episode if you're tuning in, driving to the practice, if you're at the gym. This is going to be heavy. Make sure to tune in, pay attention. I don't want to lose you. I'm going to talk about the $1 million med spa and what sets them apart. So when you're thinking med spa, I'm talking wellness practices, cosmetic, medical aesthetics, anything that's injectables, GLP-1s, anything that has to do with CO2 lasers, microneedling, all of the stuff that you guys are doing. There are med spas everywhere. People are conducting these treatments. Practices are thriving, practices are failing, practices are going bankrupt, and practices are making profits. So what truly separates the winners from the losers? How do you have so many practices that are still trying to figure it out? And then you have other practices that are doing millions of dollars in revenue, wonderful percentages when it comes to their EBITDA and their profits. They have great teams, great culture. Some of them even sell to private equity. And it's remarkable on what the data shows, guys. Like, there's competition. We all know that. But there's also people that are taking market share. And so what I want to talk about is the ones that are doing well, you will see a pattern. You can see a direct correlation of success, pattern after pattern after pattern. The people that I have on this podcast, the practice owners that I have on this podcast, they all say the same thing. They all are doing the same thing. They all have a unique value proposition. They all have great branding. They all have a great team. They all are very qualified, and they all invest in marketing. And they have great systems. They know their numbers, right? And so if you are new to the industry, this beautiful specialty, if you are in the business for over a year or a couple years or 5 years, wherever you're at, I want you to start identifying patterns of success. It's not that there is some sort of secret formula out there. You can do things your way. You can do things that make sense for your brand, your local community, your audience, the way that you want to do things. But you need to make sure you have a value proposition and a brand. Lean in on that. Know your numbers. Invest in marketing. Continue to double down on that. And the most important thing, guys, is just continuing to show up. Success truly is about discipline and consistency, and ultimately about patterns. So if you're in this world of aesthetics, I know that you have taken the time to look at what others are doing. And I wouldn't look at it through the lens of trying to copy or mimic what they're doing, but look at their patterns of success. Go visit them. Take the time to go reach out to some of these industry leaders in your space and go train with them. Go to conferences. Understand what it's going to take to get yourself in a position to make $1 million med spa. So what truly sets them apart? Again, I've mentioned patterns. And I have read so many books and studied so many entrepreneurs, their biographies. I've studied finance. I've studied marketing. I've studied sales. I've studied how to build a business from zero to sell it to private equity. I've studied this thing, and I've studied people that have done it and people that have done it at scale multiple times over and over again. And it's not that they have some secret sort of formula or geniusness, okay? It's about doing the hard things over time and not expecting to see results immediately. Continue to show up, continue to grind, continue to show up, even when you don't want to do. And when you don't want to show up, it's like when you don't want to go to the gym, you go anyway. And I know after you went, when you didn't want to go, you feel amazing afterwards. That's what separates people. That is what separates true success and the $1 million med spa versus the med spa that is about to close their doors. Continuing to show up and continuing to grind and continuing to have that discipline and accountability. That is the direct pattern, guys. Like, that's the pattern that I want you guys to recognize is success truly is taking the ability to show up and have discipline even when you don't want to do it, okay? So let's talk about it for a sec. I want to get into the mindset of $1 million med spa owner. So let's talk about mindset for a sec. The $1 million med spa owner, they think long-term. It's not just about day-to-day operations. They think long-term. They have a plan, they have a vision, and they map out that plan. So let's just say for 2025, for example, you want to take your current practice from 6 figures to 7, or let's say you have crossed the 7-figure mark and you want to double it, triple it, whatever you want to do. You want to, that somehow you want to get to $2 million, $3 million, $4 or $5 million in top line revenue. You have to have a plan. You have to think long term, and it's not just about day to day. If that is your goal, is to grow and scale, which it's interesting. Every practice owner I talk to, that's like what they want to do. In fact, I don't think I've talked to a practice owner that doesn't want to grow. Maybe that'll happen one time. I'm not sure. But everybody wants to grow, and everybody has a goal. But I'm telling you right now, a goal is just a dream without action. Okay? A goal is just a dream without action. So as you have your goal, you have to map out your actions and then hit your actions, and your daily activities over time is going to get you in a position to hit your goal. Okay. So the $1 million med spa owner, they think long term. Okay. They focus on scaling and they focus on systems. Okay. Scaling and systems. Systems put you in a position to increase proficiency, productivity, eliminate mistakes, have the ability to reduce headcount, and put staff on other activities that make more sense. So if you have a staff member that is doing mundane tasks over and over again that could be automated with tools and tech, roll out the technology. I have yet to meet a multi-million-dollar med spa owner that doesn't have robust technology and great workflows. I'm talking CRM, I'm talking EHRs, reward programs, patient financing, like true systems. I'm talking tech. Okay. Like if I was to go open up a med spa today, the first thing I would do is I would go, okay, brand, location, identity, value proposition, tech stack, and then deploy my marketing. Like that's you have to basically engineer your infrastructure before you can just say, yeah, I'm going to open up right there and it looks cute and fun and I can cross my fingers and hope it works. Like do your research. And even if you are established, well established, do additional research. Okay. If you plan on opening up another location, don't just think that that second location is going to do better than the first one or just as good because you've nailed it on location one. Do your research, understand the demographic, understand like traffic that drives by, understand what the average household income is in that area. All right. So systems extremely, extremely important. And that goes with staffing as well. Okay. Because if you're going to scale your practice, you're going to have to hire staff, right? You can be a solo injector for, as long as you want. But if you continue to just like sell all the hours in the day and in the week and in the month, you're going to make a great income, but you're going to get tired. Okay. I've done it. I've built businesses historically where I did everything and ran at like 10,000 RPMs for a year or two. And my gosh, do you get tired and burn out? And ultimately, you find yourself not doing what you love, which sucks. Like that is not a good headspace to be in, especially if you have like family, if you're married and you have kids. I have 2 beautiful daughters. Jane, she's 11. Violet, she's 8. And it's so important to me that I get to spend time with them. And the reason I get to spend time with them is I have systems and I have staff that support my business, right? And I want you guys to do the same. I'm telling you right now, you will never get the time back. So make sure that you invest in staff members and systems. Anywhere you can buy time, buy the time, okay? Because you may just be like, hey, I'm going to be a solo injector or provider, and I'm going to just take all the cash myself. And I'm telling you, you will burn out. There will be a point in time where you're like, you know what? I actually do have other hobbies outside of my practice. I love treating patients, love meeting with them, love making them feel confident and all this stuff. But truly, like, you have other hobbies, or like, if you're married, right? I'm married. I have a beautiful wife, Nicolette. She's like my life partner. We have, man, that lady is my true rock. So shout out to her. But I couldn't imagine like living in a world where her and I didn't hang out. That would be miserable. And so think about this type of stuff. Like, being an entrepreneur is amazing. It gives you a tremendous amount of freedom, but at the same time, it can make you locked in jail, right? And I know it. For most of you guys tuning in, you know what I mean by that, right? Your passion and your actual business can become a job that is locked you into your environment. So what I'm getting at is have systems, have staff, always look to buy your time back. Consistently fire yourself from activities that you should not be doing. You should not be doing administrative tasks if you're a practice owner, right? You should not be doing all the consultations. And maybe at one phase of the business you should, but if you're looking to scale and you're looking to grow, you need to start thinking long term, okay? If you're doing stuff like in Microsoft Excel that can be automated, like I still hear people that are doing lead follow-up with Excel and logging notes. I'm like, there is automation and artificial intelligence and AI out there that can easily do that, deploy it, increase your conversion rates. Like, man, always think to buy your time back. In fact, there's a wonderful book out there called How to Buy Your Time Back. A gentleman by the name of Dan Martell wrote it. One of the most powerful books I've ever read. So if you guys have a moment, if you haven't read it, go get it on Audible. It's fantastic. No shout out to or no revenue source there to me. Just a great book that's changed my life. Understand the lifetime value of a patient. Rather than just chasing new leads, stop constantly chasing new leads. New patients are wonderful. I'm a big fan of getting new patients. But understand how important lifetime value is. If you haven't done the exercise, do the exercise. How do you do it? You understand your patient, how much they spend, how many times they come in a year, and how long they stay with you. I've given you guys the benchmarks on the previous episodes. I've given you the data, right? Understand that. Understand what a patient costs to get. What is your patient acquisition cost? What is your cost per lead? If you understand your patient lifetime value and you truly, truly understand it, I was talking to a practice owner recently. Their patient lifetime value, guys, was 30 grand, $30,000 per patient. When they understood that, they completely re-engineered their process in terms of, oh my gosh, I am going to focus on my patient base. Every time that patient comes in, I'm going to give them a world-class experience. I want them to come back. I never want them to go anywhere else, ever, ever, ever. And they re-engineered their treatment programs, re-engineered their consultation approach, re-engineered their lead process, their EMR process. Like, once you understand these things, it's really going to be, mind-blowing. The last thing you want is like a turn and burn shop. You're constantly chasing new leads. Leads are coming in and you're not able to convert them at a high rate. And even when you do, you almost have to discount them. You're just building a turn and burn shop. Always look to increase your patient lifetime value, dollar amount. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Always look to increase that. That is a number I will look at year over year and make sure it's going up. And in fact, one day you will sell or exit your practice. There will be an expiration date. Hate to tell you, but you will sell or you'll close your doors or whatever. Okay. My sense is you're going to want to sell it for the highest valuation possible. Why wouldn't you? It's your baby you built. You're going to want to get the most out of it. That is one of the KPIs private equity will be looking at, or a strategic buyer or whatever. If they want to buy the lifetime value of the patient base. I also want you to really start thinking about investing in branding, reputation, and premium positioning. Branding is critical. Branding is not going anywhere. Look at Nike, look at Adidas, look at Corona, look at Yamaha, Mercedes, look at Allergan, look at Benev, look at some of the practices that you guys know within the industry. Look at Terry Ross, look at Ruma Aesthetics, look at Shelby Miller, right? Look at Concierge Medspa, right? Look at these brands, guys, and look at their reputation. They have a brand. They nail their brand, they nail their value proposition, they show up with consistency, and they have a massive, beautiful reputation with credibility. Like, go look at their Google business profile. It's amazing, right? And they have premium positioning on the internet. They invest in marketing. Like, they invest in all the near me campaigns, the SEO, the great website, the great process to click to online book. It's like, again, going back to patterns. They all have the same correlated pattern, right? So patterns don't lie, right? So look at that stuff. Marketing that attracts high ticket clients. This is really important, right? So something that converts high ticket clients, especially if you're an affluent market, you should be focused on these clients because lifetime value is higher. They're easier to sell. They're easier to train, and they want results, and they're willing to invest in results. Especially if you're selling to a business professional, right? They go to meetings, they go to conferences, they speak. Shit, they probably have a podcast. I don't know. They have a social media game. They want their appearance to look good and they want to feel good. The better that they feel, the more money they're going to make. That's crazy. You're making them make more money. Like, I would bet, like, people that have started going to aesthetics practices over the long period of time, the ones that have a treatment plan and see that self-confidence and results, I bet their income goes up. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Right? So attract those high-end clients. Websites is a sales tool, aesthetic, high converting, mobile friendly websites, like absolutely critical. Again, back to patterns. SEO and Google My Business. Be at the top of your search queries for your local market. Invest in SEO, invest in GMB optimization, continuously get Google reviews. You have to continue to have the discipline. It's not about getting 50 reviews and having a 5-star rating. It's having a process and system in place to continue to get them. Did you guys hear the recent thing that happened to Google where there was a glitch in their system or whatever, and all of a sudden like a bunch of Google reviews disappeared? Hey, shoot, like, you don't own Google My Business, unfortunately. You have an account, you have a license for it. Tomorrow, they could actually say, you know what, we're going to start charging for Google My Business, and all of a sudden they'd have a massive revenue stream. Not that they need one. Like, I saw there's all this stuff all over about the Google reviews. And so, like, continuously, have a process and a system in place to continue to get more, because you're at the mercy of whatever they change or whatever bugs happen in their system. Social media influencer marketing. I think that this is actually very important. Get your patients to talk about you. Like, get them to tell their story. Have a process in place to where when they check out, they talk about their journey, their story, their confidence. Like, imagine if you tied emotion. They went up on their social media, they had an emotional change in their life, and they shared that with the world. And you help them with that. Like, that emotional connection is absolutely huge. And local influencer marketing, I think, like, man, I could make just an episode on just this one. I think some people try to dabble in influencer marketing and they do it incorrectly. You need to do it in a way to where that influencer is local and they also have a direct relationship with your ICP, your ideal customer profile. I would not do a influencer relationship with somebody that is outside your market. It's not going to work. Right? People need to drive to your practice. Okay. Now, in some cases, people fly in. I get that. But for the most part, they drive in. And I would make sure that you guys have like similar followers. Okay. I think a wonderful influencer would be a real estate agent that is an influencer in your local market. Wonderful influencer. Okay. Another one would be someone that has to do with hanging out with, like, working on high business activities, or maybe country clubs, or hanging out in affluent areas and promoting these types of environments. Get connected to your local community. I think real estate agents would be the best. Like, somebody that matches your look too. Okay. So if you're a female driven owner, and let's say like you're a blonde hair, blue-eyed, female-driven owner, I'm just going to use that example. You may want to get an influencer that kind of fits your look in a way, and can correlate with your ICP. Great way to use that as an influencer. Give them some free treatments, have them post, whatever you want to do. Make sure it's effective, measure it, right? And know the numbers behind it to make sure it worked. Content that converts. Have a system for before and afters. Like, invest in that system. In fact, I just visited a practice locally where I am, Younger Aesthetics, and she had this amazing before and after whole like setup. And I was like, how much was that before and after setup? And she was like, it was like 20 grand. And I'm like, damn it. But like, she gets it. She is investing in showcasing the result. We're buying the result. You guys sell time, we buy results as users, okay? As patients. But like, one can look at it and say that's super expensive. The other one can look at it and say, shoot, if I get 3 more patients because of this wonderful before and after tool, and my patient lifetime value is $5 grand a patient or 10 grand a patient, like, the thing pays for itself for 3 patients. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thinking you need to get at. Okay. The power of patient retention and memberships. And memberships are critical. We are so used to paying something on a monthly service agreement in this day and age. Like, it's odd to only pay once. Like, almost everything I sign up for, every tool, I don't know how many subscriptions I have. I'm sure it's in the maybe high teens or 20s. Factor in like Netflix, Spotify, Audible, like your gym membership, whatever, your country club. It goes on and on. Memberships are important. We want memberships, and make your memberships easy. Okay. The most profitable med spas prioritize repeat clients over new leads. Like, memberships. Design VIP memberships, packages to create recurring revenue. Super important. The nice thing is, like, when you start month 1, or let's say day 1 of the month, and you have recurring revenue baked in, you can forecast your revenues that are coming in outside of your bookings. Okay, that also, by the way, little note here, increases your valuation dramatically. Memberships are super important. Loyalty programs, referral incentives that actually work, and use a powerful automated system. Again, going back to systems and tech for your memberships. Pricing and profitability. Charge what you're worth. Charge what you're worth. The mistake of undercutting prices versus building perceived value, stop selling yourself short. You guys went to school. You have credibility. You have a brand. You have a value prop. You have a business. Make sure to sell expertise over discounts. You don't want to be a discount shop. You want to sell advice, expertise, and a valuable treatment plan that's going to put people in success to see the results. Okay. Bundling services. If you're not bundling services, I would definitely suggest that. And this all has to do with the consultation. They come in for injectables, Botox, and filler, whatever. But hey, it's going to make also sense if you get this microneedling treatment. However, you guys are the experts. You know how to bundle. Make sure to bundle. People love to try different things, and it puts them in a position to actually try a different device. There's way more margins in microneedling versus injectables. Okay, way more margins. Bundle that stuff. Okay, so why high-performing med spas focus on premium treatments and custom plans? They focus there because it increases the patient lifetime value, and the patients actually see the results. They see these results, and it's going to put them in a position to continue to come back, refer their friends and family. And then, of course, AI. AI is absolutely taken off. It's not going anywhere. It's just going to get better and better. And so stop thinking that AI is just here for a second, or stop being afraid of it. In fact, all the software you guys subscribe to right now has AI in it, and they're just going to invest more and more into it. And so use these AI-driven opportunities for upsells and cross-sells, those types of things. Hang with me, guys. Operations and team culture that drives growth. People want to work at a place that's fun, a place that has a purpose. They don't want to show up to a medical aesthetics practice and just service patients. There has to be a mission. What is the mission? Identify the mission. Make sure your team knows what that mission is. Think of it as an NFL team or an NBA team. What is their mission for the season? Of course, they're going to have a team. Everybody has a position. Everybody's going to help put points on the guard board. Everybody is going to participate in defense, right? They're going to show up in practice. But what is the mission? The mission is to win the championship, right? So understand what your mission is, and make sure to double down on that with your team and your culture. Okay, create standards for treatment protocols, for consistent results, use technology and automation to reduce manual work and streamline bookings. And like a true med spa, $1 million med spa is the one that has incentives for commissions for every single one of their providers. They have strong leadership, and then they have the hierarchy structure. So you have owner, you have management, you have lower level management, you have providers, like however your hierarchy structure is, make sure it's built in a way that it supports the same exact mission, the same goals. And so everybody, when they come to work, they're coming to support the mission. Okay. And then all the activities live within inside the mission. I talked about reviews and reputation a little bit, just had some more bullet points on here, but 91% of med spa patients check online reviews before booking. One. This is data like directly from MSpa. Like, that's crazy. In fact, some people trust a review over a referral. That's pretty wild, right? So leveraging video testimonials, I don't see this nearly enough. Video testimonials, even for like high producing, very well-established practices. Why are you guys not getting video testimonials? Using those on your social channels, using those on your paid search channels. Like if you were going to run a paid social campaign and it was just about a video of a testimonial, it's like 10 testimonials and before and afters, that ad campaign is going to do so well. Prepare to get booked. Okay. You can use that in your email follow-ups when leads come in, your text follow-ups when leads come in. You can put it on your website. Like, there's so much horsepower that you can do with a video, guys. Make sure to start focusing on that, okay? Create a memorable spa experience. When people come in, they're taking time out of their hard-earned day, like their day away from their family, like they're coming in for experience. Give them an experience, and they're going to tell all their friends and family about it, okay? And the last point, guys, scaling beyond one location. One location may be right for you, but if you're looking to scale, know how to scale beyond one location. Know how to do it. Know when the timing is right. You have to make sure that you have, like, use your first location as an incubator, iron out and flush out everything you need to flush out before you can go to operation number 2. And then you can just replicate what you did at location 1. Okay, now that may take somebody 6 months or 6 years. Again, completely depends on your lifestyle, your approach, however you want to scale. Should I have one customer that I talk with, they have one location, but it's like a 10,000 square foot building, right? So it's almost like multiple locations in one. Kind of a cool idea. And they've expanded their services and offerings and treatments and stuff like that too. So I'm going to leave it at that. Again, the takeaway here, guys, is success is in patterns. Success is in discipline. Success is in accountability. And if you want to be the next $1 million med spa, look for patterns. Until next time, happy injecting.